this recoil. So we got acid shells for the big kabloomies. So try to focus on a high health target. Shoot him.
Oh, nice.
What are you? Are you an alpaca? Just need to make you with a carrot, then I bet you. I got bit by an alpaca once when I was a kid. I went to a petting zoo with my family, and I was feeding it a carrot like this, and it just bit my finger. You want an apple? Don't bite my finger, please. So we're at this random truck stop on the way out of Moab towards, we're driving towards Flagstaff tonight to pick up a very special package of mine that I'm very excited to pick up tomorrow morning. But we're at this place, Hole in the Rock. Saw they had a petting zoo. It was like $6 to get a bucket to feed the animals. There's actually surprisingly a lot of animals in here. Oh, look at that. What's up, Mr. Peacock? We got a camel out here. You want a carrot, dude? I got some carrots for you.
Nice. 1本打ちます。I can buy one. Nice. Mid.
Oh yeah. That guy's so big. Oh no. You're a little too big, buddy. There you go. Nice. What about a little apple? I like this guy. You're a little big though. You spit on me, I'm gonna freak out on you, dude. There you go. I'll give you some food. Don't spit. Thank you. So I can't really show you inside the actual hole in the rock. You can go in the souvenir shop and you can do a tour, but you're not allowed to take pictures. So if you want to see what the house inside of here looks like, you can just Google that. But this little truck stop is a little more interesting than most. One, because it's got the giant hole in the rock hotel. It's got a trading post, a petting zoo, and then just a bunch of random trinkets and stuff. They got jail cells, whatnot. But the hole in the rock was started, I don't know, 80, 90 years ago, something like that, by this couple building a house in here. They have since died. They're actually buried in the back there in another hole in this rock. And now it's kind of like a roadside attraction. I don't know why there's a Franklin D. Roosevelt memorial carved into it. We'll at least go in the souvenir shop. Then we're getting out of here because I need to go take a shower really bad. They told me to put my camera away right when I walked in, so I need to go find a shower somewhere. I'm in kind of the middle of, not in the middle of nowhere, but I'm heading towards the middle of nowhere in between two cities. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find a shower, but we'll see. So I wasn't able to find a shower anywhere. I stopped by like 3 spots trying to find somewhere I could get a shower inside somewhere. Just couldn't find anywhere, and then just decided it's warm enough out. It's like 60 degrees, so it's just warm enough to take an outdoor shower. So I just turned left down this indiscriminate BLM road, which again, if you're unfamiliar, Bureau of Land Management land, so public use land, to find just somewhere to pull off. Ended up having to drive way farther than I wanted to find a pull off. Finally found one here where I can take a shower, and it just so happens to be one of the sickest spots that I've ever pulled up to. All these rock formations. It was a little sandy pulling in here. I did get a little nervous, and it would have sucked just getting stuck for the sake of taking a shower. But look at this. It looks like there's like a little mini canyon over here. Got little hoodoos. It's kind of sick. Whenever I get to places like this, I always wonder, was this sculpted by water? Like, it looks like this is almost like a basin where water used to be, or is it wind? But there's a bunch of like really precarious rocks sticking up on these little tiny little mesas. That's another thing about van life. You never know what you're gonna find. You can just drive down some indiscriminate road for 30 minutes and end up at a cool place like this to take a shower. Also, if you watched my last video, you'll know that my van stopped working. The key fob. Fob wouldn't connect, but luckily at the end of the video we gave it one last shot trying to connect my old key fob that I thought I lost, got replaced, and then found again. Connected that back and it worked, and now my van is working again with the original key fob that came with the van. But I've had my water heater on. I turned it on about 30 minutes ago when we kind of got to this dirt road, so we can turn that off, and now I should have 5 gallons of hot water in my water heater tank. Also, I normally make my bed in the morning. If you watch my videos, you'll know that. Makes me feel a little bit more organized. Didn't make it today because I am gonna have to take this to the laundromat, because tonight I'm gonna have to make sure my van is super clean so we can get ready to get this package that we're picking up tomorrow morning that I'm, again, super excited to pick up. But yeah, let's get the shower set up. So a few videos ago I did set up my indoor shower, which if you want to go watch that video, it pulls out down here and then drains down. I don't feel like doing all that because it's kind of a pain, so we're just gonna do a nice outdoor shower today, which is much simpler to set up. Hook my shower head up to the faucet. Turn the water to hot. That's pretty much it. I will say this isn't necessarily ideal showering temperature because the wind is a little cold, but at least the water's nice and warm. Oh, it's cold. I hate not being showered, and it's been like 4 days. It always makes me feel so gross to not have showers, especially after doing like stuff outside. Like, I'm just the kind of person where I need to have a shower, I need to feel clean in order to like feel productive. And sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do to get one. Whew. Yeah. Easy as that, take an outdoor shower. And before I get dressed and get out of here, I do want to say a quick thank you to this video's sponsor, Huckberry, a one-stop men's shop for all of your fashion needs. They've got nice bathing suits, which is what I just showered in. This is probably my favorite bathing suit that I've ever owned. It's got this nice like inner lining, so I don't have to wear underwear with them to feel comfortable. I got 2 of these, and I don't think I'm ever gonna buy another bathing suit again. And they also have tons of options for men's clothing, from their house brands, their shirts, Flint and Tinder, pants, sweaters to keep me warm in these last few cold days before the summer hits. And it really does make it almost effortless, which is a lot to say for someone like myself who has zero fashion sense, to feel a little bit better about what they're putting on every day and not feel like such a van life scoundrel. I especially, and I said this in the last video, love these boots. These are one of my new favorite things to wear, especially when I'm going into cities or I'm doing something. And again, I've always been super apprehensive about buying clothes online because I'm very particular with the way that I like my clothes to fit. But Huckberry's website makes it so easy to find your size, with images showing you people wearing a certain size, how much they weigh, what size they are, so you can get kind of a reference for how it's gonna fit you. And everything that they sent me has fit absolutely perfectly. So I have zero complaints.
Hey guys, what's up, Zyflon here, and in today's video we are going to be learning everything that you need to know about Archon shards in Warframe. Everything up. Oh no, the thing to get more Archon shards is come ahead and press Sanctum again, go ahead, pause the game, press Sanctum Anatomica Fast Travel, and go ahead and press Necroloid. Now you need to be rank 5 with the caveat syndicate to do this, but basically
complaints, and I think I will be buying all of my clothes from Huckberry's website from here on out. So yeah, if you've ever kind of struggled with fashion, or you just want to level up your closet a little bit, go check them out. The link will be in the description of this video to go to their website. You can search around. They have thousands of options to choose from. So no matter who you are, you'll find something that you like. But yeah, go check them out. Link in the description. But I have made a kind of a mess in the van, so I'm gonna get this cleaned up. Good enough. Let's get out of here. I think I've got one more stop I want to make in this area before we head into the city, which is a few hours away. And it's one of the few places in the American Southwest that I haven't explored yet, which is honestly very surprising. I don't know why I haven't. I guess I've just never taken the time to really check out this area, and that is Monument Valley. But we've got kind of a decent drive back on these desert sandy roads to get back to the road, because I ended up driving a lot further down this road, like I said, than I initially anticipated to find a spot to shower. So we're gonna go check out that spot, and then we're heading into the city. I like talking about you usually, but occasionally I want to talk about me. All right, so we have made it to the spot in Monument Valley that I think is the most famous, at least in my mind, the most popular or most famous spot in this park, strictly because of Forrest Gump.
I had run for 3 years, 2 months, 14 days, and 16 hours.
And you can kind of tell by how many people are standing in the middle of the road taking pictures. Jenny, I just kept running and running till I couldn't run no more. But I'm gonna go out there, get a few flicks. There we go. It'd probably be better if I had a telephoto, but hopefully this came out kind of cool. to bob and weave for the people down here. Some people just have no situational awareness though. Just in the middle of the road. So this is Monument Valley. It's not a national park, but a Navajo tribal park, which is kind of what a lot of the land around here is. And these towering buttes that you see sticking out of the landscape are once part of a giant plateau, and they've slowly been chewed down to these bones and these towers of rock just jutting out of the landscape. And this place kind of became famous because of Hollywood movies, but people have been living here for thousands and thousands of years. And I understand how these rocks formed, like they were once a plateau and then it got chewed down. But what I don't understand is where did the land go? Like if it was all connected across all the way to over there, where did it go? Like did it just, it doesn't make sense to me. Like I understand it got eroded down and I guess maybe carried away by something. It's just such an incredible landscape to see, and just imagine this massive plateau once here and then forces of nature just carving it out. I was gonna go into the park, we're just outside of it right now, but the line was just way too long to go in and I just didn't feel like sitting in it. So I'll be in the area for a little while, come back on a non-weekend day and maybe check out more of the park. But I've got some chores that I need to get done in the van, clean up, and I gotta pick up some stuff, and the closest town is about an hour and a half away where I can do any of that stuff. So I'm gonna head over there and I will see you guys when I get there. I'm gonna be honest, I was kind of hoping that there was gonna be somewhere near this laundromat that had food, but there's not. And the only thing I really have left in the van is ramen, so I'm gonna make that for lunch. I'm starving. I like my ramen a little bit undercooked and with basically no broth in it. I like it honestly mostly noodles with a little bit of the broth. That's how I've always eaten it since I was a kid. I feel like it tastes better that way.
Where am I going, bro?
Well, half my noodles just spilled out in the sink, but there we go. Eat this real quick. Nice easy lunch, and then flip laundry, grocery store, find somewhere to camp. Alright, laundry sheets are done. Worry about folding those later. I gotta go to the grocery store, and we gotta drive kind of a long ways to get to a campsite tonight because, as I said, a lot of the land out here is Navajo land. There isn't any real camping opportunities on tribal land because in most places it's not allowed, so the closest campsite that I found is like an hour and a half, 2 hours away. So we're gonna have to drive quite a ways to camp tonight. So I'm gonna pick up some groceries, get some stuff for dinner, and then we are off to find camp. All right, groceries for dinner acquired. I will see you guys at camp. All right, we are about 12 minutes from camp, but I wanted to get on before we get there because it's about to be dark. I had to drive a little bit farther than I thought to find a campsite getting out of the Indian reservation land, so I got here a little bit later than I really intended to be, but I wanted to show you guys the sunset just in case it's not there once we get to camp in like 15 minutes, since the sun set like 15 minutes ago. And I know the GoPro's not going to do it justice because those mountains that are in the distance over there, they look a lot closer in person. It's just so crazy how beautiful the sunset is, but yeah, by the time we get to camp, it'll probably be fully set, or at least there might be some remnants left, but we'll see. Look at that. I mean, does the view get better? I wish I had gotten here earlier. Wow. This is where we're gonna call camp for the night, though. Try to get out and show you guys what's here with what very small amount of light we have left. But we're just on the rim of Painted Canyon. So when we wake up tomorrow, down in this valley, is just a ton of rocks that look like they're painted a bunch of different colors. Can't really see them now. You can see the sunset. It's just spectacular off in the distance. I have not been this hungry in a long time. We got a bunch of stuff. We're making some elote and ground beef tacos for dinner tonight, which I am stoked on. It's going to be delicious, and I can't wait to wake up tomorrow and show you guys this view because it is actually pretty spectacular. But before we get started with our dinner for the night, I have some chores that I have to finish taking care of, and that is making my bed and put away my laundry. And there we go. Nice and clean, just in time to get messy again. Got all my ingredients set out for the tacos and the elote. Got my chef's apron on. Let's get to cooking. We have lost all of our sunlight. It is definitely dark outside. There's a little bit of sunlight left. You can see it on the horizon. But first things first, prep work. It's got like a deformity. The tip's all weird. Ooh. And as for the rest of the prep work, it's pretty minimal. Just kind of chopping some stuff up. We're basically going to chop up some of this cilantro. This little bit of tomato that I have left. Just making use of it. And the last thing would be this cojita cheese. I couldn't find any cojita cheese that was already pre-crumbled. I don't really know how this works to crumble up this, but we're gonna open it up and find out. I'm not really sure how to break this up other than putting it in a bag and beating it. So now, first thing we're gonna do is cook up this taco meat. Get the heat on back there, along with some oil. So now to that pot, we can add in our ground beef. I have some pre-chopped onions because I cheated a little bit. Throw those in there. As well as a little bit of garlic. And we'll get that all nice and browned up in this pot, this tiny little pot. Now to our meat, we're gonna make our own taco sauce. We're gonna add a little bit of cayenne, a little bit of this charred chili, lime, a little bit of cumin, some salt, and then some pepper. We're also gonna throw in a little bit of the cilantro in there just to get some color. And that's that. And I'll let that brown up nicely, get coated in that seasoning. So now that taco meat is nice and seasoned and browned up beautifully. The last thing I'm gonna do for that is drain off some of this grease, hopefully without losing any meat. Then we're gonna add about a half a cup of beef broth to the party. And once this starts boiling, which it almost already is, we'll reduce the heat to low and let that simmer for about 20 minutes while we get the rest of the stuff ready. So now with that simmering, we can move on to our elote. And for that, we're just gonna char grill it over these open flames and try our best not to burn it, but I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do that. We'll just pop those over the flames and let those grill get nice and charred all around. Hopefully not burn them. We just want a nice like brown kind of crust all around on all the pieces. Also, I forgot to mention I did coat the corn in some oil. So this is kind of what we're looking for, but all the way around the corn. Maybe honestly even a little bit more than that, but that's not looking too bad. And while we're waiting for the corn to get roasted, I'm gonna make the cream that we're gonna coat these things in. And it's pretty simple. It's just, I got some crema. So we'll throw some of that into our bowl, along with a little bit of sour cream and then some mayonnaise. And then we can mix that together, and that'll be what we're gonna coat this corn with once it's done roasting. There we go. Beautiful. All right, so I think our corn has finished roasting. Look at that. Nice roasted corn. And I'm honestly gonna set these aside for now while we wait for the beef to be done. And then right before I plate everything, I'm gonna heat them back up again and then coat them and kind of get them ready to go. But until then, we're just waiting for our beef to be done and then kind of getting everything going. All right, so our ground beef has reduced down nicely. I think it's pretty much good to go. So now we got some oil in this pan. I just set this up off camera. Got our tortillas down in there, nice and coated in that oil. And this will make so many, I think, of my subscribers happy because I always get comments from people telling me to toast my tortillas when I make tacos. So we're toasting our tortillas, throwing a little bit of Monterey Jack cheese down on those bad boys, nice and spread out, kind of like a queso birria. We'll let those cook up a little bit, let the cheese melt, and hopefully we're looking for a nice golden brown on the bottom of those tortillas. And I'm gonna get those corn cooking again on low just to warm it up again. Once that cheese starts to melt a little bit, I'm gonna throw some beef in both of these tacos. I'm gonna get them nice and folded over, like so, like that. And then we're gonna cook these up until they're nice and brown and crispy on both sides. So we'll probably give them a flip in like 3 minutes and then take them out and repeat the process with the other two. Make sure to rotate this corn. All right, tacos. Look at how beautiful those are. I finished. We're just waiting for our last one to cook up on its last side. While we wait for that, I'm gonna get started on finishing off this elote. Basically what that means is coating them in this cream. Just all the way down, a nice coating. Getting it into the nooks and crannies, all the way around this corn cob. And then we can take that and we can dunk it into our cojita cheese. At least in theory, I don't know if this is how you're supposed to do it. This is how I'm gonna do it. Get it dunked in our cojita cheese, so it looks like that. Get that on the plate. We're gonna do one for now. 4 tacos. All the way around this corn cob. And then we can take that and we can dunk it into our cojita cheese. At least in theory, I don't know if this is how you're supposed to do it. This is how I'm gonna do it. Get it dunked in our cojita cheese, so it looks like that. Get that on the plate. We're gonna do one for now. 4 tacos. Then we can hit that with a little bit of chili powder. Fresh squeeze of lime on everything. Got lime on the tacos, lime on the elote, a little bit of cilantro over everything. And then one last finishing touch onto our tacos and elote is a little bit of this chipotle sauce drizzled on there. That is stunning. Might be one of the prettier dishes I've ever made in the van. What do you say so myself? I'm gonna get this cleaned up real quick, then we're eating dinner. Nothing on my new clothes. All nice and clean. I have a bad habit of rubbing my hands on my pants when I'm cooking, so the apron most definitely helps. And if I'm gonna toot my own horn here a little bit, I think my plating game has quite substantially improved, because this looks absolutely beautiful. It's like something you'd be served in a restaurant. I think I'm gonna start taking pictures of the meals, just because why not? I got the camera, might as well use it. Because the GoPro doesn't really do well up close, so this will help you guys really appreciate the beauty of this dish. Anyways, start off with this elote. Cheers. Oh, this is my favorite thing. Typically I like elote like deconstructed, cutting the kernels off so I don't have to eat it off the cob, but oh. So good. Now, onto these crispy, beautiful tacos. I brought the extra cream that I had from the elotes to dip it in. Oh, I've never done that before where I cook the beef in beef broth and let it reduce. But oh my god. It adds so much flavor. Like the beef is moist and tender, the tortilla is crispy, the cheese is nice and crusted around the edge. Everything just goes together so beautifully. Also, I don't think I've done my ranking in a while, but I'm gonna tell you right now, this one's definitely gonna be a high rank. And you guys, if you want to, honestly try these recipes out. You don't have to follow it exactly. It's not really a real recipe anyways, but try them out and let me know what you think of my rankings. Because I'd probably rate this, I'd have to give it honestly an 8.7 out of 10. Super easy to make. That also plays into my ranking factor. Super easy to make, so much flavor going on. It looks really good on the plate, and it's like a real complete meal because it's got the corn as a side, it's got the tacos. I'm definitely eating all this. So I'm gonna finish dinner. Check in with you guys after. Dinner's done. That was delicious, but the van is kind of a mess. If you look closely, the floors are disgusting, dirty. Table needs to be wiped down. I need to clean out the front seat, do the dishes, finish cleaning up dinner. I've got a bunch of stuff I gotta get done because as I said, tomorrow we're picking up a very important package. And if you can guess what package I'm gonna be picking up in the morning, Leave a comment down below and see if you're right. But I'm gonna get this van cleaned up, spotless, deep clean. It's gonna be perfect. So that's what I'm gonna be doing the rest of the night. So I'll see you guys when we wake up in the morning. Good morning. In the Painted Canyon. Not sure how well the colors down here are going to show the canyon, but it does look like another worldly different planet up here. See those mountains where the sun set last night. But take some photos with my nice camera. Hopefully give these colors some depth so you guys can see what I'm looking at. Woke up pretty early today. It's right around 7 a.m. I've been up for like 30 minutes. I'm gonna make a quick, easy breakfast this morning because we have to leave soon. And all I have is one singular egg white and some ground beef. So I'm gonna do a little single egg ground beef scramble. Or you know what? I think I still have some of those tender buns left. Nice. I'm gonna do a sandwich. We've upgraded our idea from an egg scramble to eggs. That scared the shit. I thought there was a person walking into my van. But we're upgrading from breakfast scramble or breakfast sandwich. Look at that. Actually looks pretty beautiful as a breakfast sandwich. Delicious. Alright, let's get dressed and get out of here. Because I've got to make it into the city within the next 2 hours and we're about an hour and a half away. So let's go pick up my package. Beautiful. You get like good sleep last night? No. Alright. Package has been acquired. Package being my beautiful girlfriend Savannah. Say hello.
Hello.
So, Savannah is going to be hanging out in the van for the next few days. We got some cool stuff planned for while she's here. But since I haven't seen her in a while, we're going to take the rest of the day to hang out, just me and her. So you have to tune in next week to see more of Savannah, unless you don't want to. Then you don't have to.
But you have to.
With that being said, as always, I truly appreciate you guys watching. If you haven't already, think about clicking that subscribe button. It really does help out the channel. And
See you guys next Tuesday.
yeah, that works. But you gotta put your hand up. You gotta be like,
See you guys next time.
Glad you came. Glad you came.
morning. Made it to this beautiful spot on this reservoir last night and got myself into a little bit of a sticky situation. I guess a muddy situation. Right there. Got stuck. Well, actually, I got stuck right there, dug myself out, and then got stuck again up there. It looked like the ground was dry, like it feels like dry, like up here, it's very dry. But I guess on that right side, it was a little more squishy. So my tires just completely sunk into the mud, got myself out, and then stuck again, and then I had to call a tow truck, and they just yanked me out. So that was definitely not fun, also expensive. Also, my coffee maker is broken, and I don't have any just straight up coffee, so I'm dissecting a few of these pods, these coffee pods, cut them open, and we're just gonna do a little pour over directly into my coffee mug. Hopefully that works. Breakfast looks delicious. I read something online once, you're supposed to like let it bloom. I don't know what that means necessarily, but pour the water on there, let it sit for a minute, and that lets the coffee bloom. Kind of sounds like BS to me, but I don't know much about coffee. We'll try it out. Probably won't notice the difference. What? So I have been trying to, I think I've said this in a previous video, drink less coffee. Well, not just coffee, just caffeine in general. But I still will have it once or twice a week, especially on a morning like this up in the snow-covered hills. Slash, I guess, mountains over there. How can you look at this and not? Just want a nice hot cup of coffee. I really was so close to getting myself unstuck last night. I got myself unstuck once. And then by the end of like the second hour, digging, trying to get myself out of it, I was just like, I'm just gonna call somebody. 'Cause I don't want to tear up the ground any more than I had, and honestly really didn't feel like digging anymore. But all matters is we're out now. Free to roam once again. But there's the remnants of my little venture getting stuck yesterday. You can see how it was like more solid on this side when I drove down. So I was trying to keep as left as I could because it looked drier up on this little plateau. But then this side just completely sunk in. If you know anything about Ram Pro Masters, they don't do well, especially in mud or sand. So I'm honestly not surprised that it did get stuck. That's really weird. But this is a pretty beautiful spot, so before I leave, I'm gonna drill. Got ourselves changed into our day clothes. The van is nice and clean, ready to go. But I do want to show you guys something before we get out of here. It was last night when I went to use the bathroom that's here, because this is kind of like a public access area. I saw these nests up on the bathroom that I think are super cool every time I see them, and I never really see them up close because they're always up super high. Right above the bathroom here. I don't think they're inhabited right now, but these are little mud bird's nests all tucked up in between here under the bathroom walls. And these little mud huts made of like bird spit, I think, are home to barn swallows. They're super small, super agile little birds. Usually you'll see them flying around in the morning or in the evening, and they make these cliff nests, usually on high up places like on the side of cliffs or something like that. And they migrate like thousands of miles every single year, so it's cool that this kind of little bathroom was a part of their journey. But I always think it's so cool. I feel like birds are some of the smartest animals, and they don't get enough credit. That is, I guess, if you believe birds are real. I know it's a popular theory that birds aren't real, but I'll leave that up to you to decide. There's also a heron out there. I don't know if you can see him. But hopefully all this mud comes off the tires while we're driving. If not, we might have to give it a wash. I think it's time to say goodbye. Go beautiful campsite for the night and head up north. We're going that way towards the Sawtooth Mountains to do a quick hike, maybe jump in some hot springs, and then cook, hopefully, some bison smash burgers. That sounds delicious. All right, we've got our route. We're about 2 hours away. Might make a stop along the way to pick up some food, but to the road. All right, we have made it to Ainley, Idaho. It's the last town that we're gonna pass through before we make it up to the Sawtooths, and also the last grocery store. So I'm gonna stop in here and grab some bison meat and everything else we need to make bison burgers. And then I might take, looks like most of the mud came off the tires, but if I can find a car wash that's open and big enough to fit the van, I'm gonna take it to the car wash. And we gotta fill our water tanks, because I think I might want to break out the pull-out shower that I have in my van. And if you guys have never seen me use it, I haven't used it in a long time. It is a pretty cool feature of my van, and I need to use it more often, so I think I'm gonna take a shower tonight. I will say, one of the best benefits of living in a van is I don't have to bring my groceries in twice. But we got all the stuff I think hopefully that we need for making some bison smash burgers tonight out in the Sawtooth Mountain Wilderness. I'm so excited. Never go wrong with a good burger. Especially a smash burger, which I've never actually made at home. I've always gotten smash burgers when I'm like out or I'm doing something, but I've never made them myself, so I'm excited to try. I don't really have anything to smash the burgers with per se, but I figure I can just use a spatula and that's good enough. But like I said before we go, we gotta get a few chores done. So one thing that I wish I did differently in my van, make sure this works. Okay. Yeah, it works. Is make my water more easily accessible. When I initially built the van, I built it with the idea that this slit right here would be where I could view my water level, but as you can see, it's not wide enough and you can't really see unless there was a light behind the tank, like shining on it, where the water level is. So I really don't know. So the only way to get under there to see it is to lift up my mattress and look at it, and sometimes I still can't even tell from up here. And I think we're pretty much on E right now, so yeah, we definitely need to fill up. It's also always so cool when you get to places like this, because no matter where you are, righty tighty, lefty loosey. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. But no matter where you are, when you look around, put that on, it's just beautiful. Like there's mountains everywhere, and this time of year they're still covered in snow. And being from the East Coast, you really just don't get that anywhere. Maybe in Appalachia or in upstate New York, but other than that, you really don't get much. So since I've been on the West Coast, it's just mind-blowing how cool the landscape is out here. But the back of my van is an absolute disaster. This needs some serious organizing. Right now, we're just gonna focus on the task at hand and get some water in there. All right, that looks just about full. I always love when I find car washes that have this scaffolding in it. So like this set of stairs that you can walk up and wash the top of the car. Because that way I can wash my solar panels off, which I don't do ever. It's nice to get up there and wash them off and get a little bit extra power out of my van. There is one thing that I always forget to do when I get to these car washes and then end up with dripping water, which is probably why, if I didn't even already say it yet, this fan doesn't work anymore. I haven't taken the best care of it, but I need to buy some parts to fix that at some point. But I'll leave the fans open on accident when I wash the car, and then water will just seep into it. But let's get this girl clean. Look at her. She's so pretty. It's not the perfect clean, but I wasn't really expecting that. I mean, those washes are not the best, but she is definitely much cleaner than she was, especially with tires. But it's time to finish out this drive. We got about another hour and a half till we get there, so I will see you guys once we get a little bit closer. All right, we have made it to the Sawtooth Mountain Range. I've heard through the grapevine that the Sawtooths are just as good as the Tetons, and so far, I mean, they're pretty spectacular. Beautiful river right here. I think it's called the Salmon River. Might try to fly fish in that a little bit later. Hopefully somewhere up around this bend we'll be able to see the mountains a little bit better. Off to our left. It's just beautiful out here. Perfect day. And the mountains look spectacular, but I really didn't realize, I don't know why I didn't think about it. I thought because we were gonna be at the base of the mountain and it was late enough in the season, but I guess I didn't realize how far north we are. Look at that river. Gonna be some good fishing in there. I didn't realize that there was gonna be so much snow on the ground. It's not so much here as on the drive up here, but it's definitely gonna make it a lot more difficult to find a spot to camp tonight. So I don't really know what I'm gonna do about that, because I think the place that I was planning on going is definitely gonna be inaccessible, especially in my van, with how easily this thing gets stuck in anything. But we made it to Stanley, small town right at the edge of the Sawtooths. This little town of Stanley, I think, has, according to what I read online and I think it was the 2020 census, has 400 or so residents that live here. Probably most of which aren't permanent. I don't really know. But yeah, it's just a super, super small mountain town here, right on the edge of the Tetons, but it is beautiful. Like that house up there, crazy views. But before we kind of figure out where we're gonna camp tonight and what we're doing the rest of the day, I wanna drive up. There's this road up here that leads up to this trailhead. I might do a little bit of a hike and get some cardio in for we settle down. All right, so it says the road up there is closed, so I guess we can't go up there. But we'll go find a spot to maybe pull out and get a few pictures at least of the mountains. Such a nice day out, I can't get over it. Well, that sucks. My foot just sunk up to here in the freezing cold water. Noted, don't step in the snow. I just wanted to get closer. Anyways, time for me and my soaking foot to get out of here. I think since it's a little bit snowier than I thought, and a lot of the places are going to be closed or inaccessible since it's so wet and covered in snow, that I'm just going to go check out that hot spring. Hopefully we can get to that, and maybe see if I can find somewhere real quick that looks cool enough to my foot is soaked. Cool enough to camp tonight. And for those of you who are new here or maybe haven't seen my videos or are wondering how I find the campsites that I find, I use this app called iOverlander, and basically it's like an open forum where people can go in, and when they've camped somewhere they can leave a little pin. So all of these little dots are just little pins from where people have camped, and it's just a community forum where they place a marker and say camped here, post a picture, say what the amenities are like, whether they're service or not. So 90% of the time, that's how I find my campsites: stealth camping, city camping, parking lot camping, wilderness camping. You can find a lot, but you can also find your own spots, like using this as a guide. So like you'll see a spot where people have camped, or it shows you where the BLM boundaries are. So you can go find your own campsites, use this as a guide, or you can just camp at the iOverlander spots that people have already camped at. So I'm gonna search through here and see what we can find that looks like it would be good in the winter. And a lot of the times when I find a spot, I will pull it up, see what it looks like, and then look at it on satellite to see what the road looks like getting there. And if it looks like it's like too rutted, or if it looks like it's too out of the way, I just won't go. This one looks like it would be fine. We can at least drive over there after the hot spring and see, and then worst case, I always like to have a backup if I'm not too sure about a space. Looks like there's a few places off the road down the road we just came down. Worst case, we've got somewhere to stay tonight. Hopefully we're gonna get that super cool spot. I found a spot that has like 360 views of the mountains, so if we can get there, dope. If not, camping on the side of the road. But anyways, I'm gonna drive down the road. It's about 2 miles down there. Check out some hot springs, maybe get a quick bath, even though I don't really consider it a bath because I always have to shower after because the waters kind of scare me. But see you guys when we get there. And we're here. Usually you can drive all the way up to the hot springs. So we're here on the map. Hot spring is right there. Usually you can drive up to right there, walk across the bridge and you're there. But it's blocked off by snow. So we're gonna have to hike through whatever this is. But first, get our bathing suit on, get a towel. Let's get out there. Let's see if we can get out there. I don't even know if we can, because I don't know if it's walkable from here. It just looks like it is on the map, but you never really know. But I see the bridge up there. Definitely walkable. So good news is we'll probably make it there. Look at that. Oh, God, does it get better? This is so crazy cool. That's so perfect. Genuinely could not be more of a perfect temperature. I want to give you guys a shot of the pool itself before I get in it, because I'm going to stir up a bunch of muck because it's all sand, but it is perfectly crystal clear water. You can see some of the hot water bubbling up there in the middle, and then most of it's coming through these streams here, and then it just goes right down to the river, so it's constantly cycling, so it's got to be cleaning up. I got to take these sandals off. Oh. It's so cool when you take a step, it's like an explosion. Ready? What a spot. But you already know, before we really sit down and relax and enjoy this pool, I'm gonna get myself some pictures. I can feel like right next to this rock, like whenever I step down, it's like I'm letting up more hot water, all these bubbles that are coming up. But yeah, usually in places like this, I don't like to put my head under because you never know. what could be in this kind of water, especially warmer water. I don't want that to be the way I go out, but look at that. What a day. But genuinely, I mean, where else in the world are you gonna find places like this just for free and have it all to yourself? I guess it is a Tuesday, and I live in my van. But anyways, I'm gonna sit here and enjoy this for honestly as long as I can, and then we're gonna get out of here and find somewhere to camp. All right, so I'm just kind of letting myself air dry right now because it's really not that cold out, and I'd rather not use my bath towel, which is what I brought out here, to dry myself off from this lake and then take a shower and dry myself off the same towel. I'm actually very surprised how warm it is out. It's nice because I know it's going to get cold tonight, which is good for sleeping. It's nice and like perfect temperature during the day. I don't think that this campsite is too far from where we're at, but it is down a 3-mile dirt road, which kind of worries me. Alright, so actually does look kind of promising. It's unfortunate. It is closed. It looks like it's drivable too. I definitely respect the sign. I won't go down there. But I'm gonna find somewhere else to camp, so I'll see you guys when we get there. There we go. Made it to camp. This is the only place that I could find within like an hour and a half of where I was. We pulled down into the valley, so don't have any service. Don't have any service anymore, which kind of sucks. But not a bad place. I was trying to camp out in the wilderness with a view of the Sawtooth, but every single place that I went was one either closed, two was blocked off by a mountain of snow from a snowplow just like this right at the entrance, or three was too far to risk driving to and having it be blocked off, so I just didn't even think about it. I was gonna park on the side of the road, but all the spots that I found on the side of the road were just too close to the road. Like if it's far enough off to the side, like there's a big enough pull out, then I'm comfortable staying there, but if it's like just like a small pull out, I don't really like doing that. It's not a bad spot. It's a campsite. It was $5, self-pay. We got a nice spot here tucked away in the trees in the back, kind of away from everybody else, with our own little private river access right here. So I might break out that fly fishing rod. There's a big old piece of driftwood drifting down the river. I might break out that fly fishing rod, give it a few swings, see if I can do anything before I cook dinner tonight. Mostly just practice. Honestly, I don't really expect to catch anything. Yeah, I mean, can't complain. This was the only spot that I pulled into after driving around for an hour that had anything, and was actually plowed. First things first, I didn't get a workout in today. I've kind of been following this new mantra of come up with excuses why I can do something as opposed to excuses why I can't. And before we do anything else, I'm gonna get a quick body weight workout in. All right, that's good enough. We did 80 push-ups, 60 sit-ups, no, 100 push-ups. I did 20 off camera. But I think I'm going to pull up my fishing rod, throw a few lines in, and then take a shower before, and then cook before I shower. And if you haven't seen my videos before, my shower is pretty cool, so make sure you stick around to see that. It pulls out from this hidden, oh no, it's broken. My latch broke. That's easy enough to screw back in. But it pulls out in this hidden drawer. Hopefully I can still pull it out. And then there's a drain that lines up right here on that drawer, and then my curtain goes up, so it's pretty cool. But I'm gonna grab the fly rod. Not really taking anything too serious. I just gonna go throw a few lines in. More so just gonna practice my cast. All right, odds I catch a fish. Place your bets now. Leave a comment right now if you think I'm gonna catch a fish. I'm only gonna be out here for 30 minutes, and if you've watched my channel, you might have better odds in winning your bet because you know my fishing record, and this is only my second time fly fishing. So, no fish today, but I'm definitely feeling a little bit more confident about, I don't know, casting. Maybe I'm completely wrong on what I'm doing, but I'll continue to watch videos and try to figure this sport out. But anyways, let's go make some dinner. Let's get the making some smash. We have got to prep up all of our ingredients, which isn't much, honestly. Oh, I actually have to do some prep work. Chop onion, chop tomato. Not really following a recipe here. I feel like smash burgers are pretty straightforward. I do always see when people make smash burgers specifically that they will smash the onions in with the meat, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna cut this super thin, almost as thin as I can get it. Like that. And then we're gonna smash these into the burger. I feel like that's enough for two. That's more than enough. What am I saying? I also haven't fully decided whether I'm going to like smash the crap out of these burgers. I feel like wafer thin might be good. Like, if I like my bacon crispy, I feel like that might be a good smash burger. If it's like super, super thin. All right, so that's most of the stuff prep. Last thing I gotta prep is this 90% lean, 10% fat ground bison. I'm trying to get a gauge for like if I flatten these, how big they're gonna be. So I don't want them overhanging the burger too much. I'm gonna go with that. Look about the right size. I don't really know. Alright, bacon's done. It's nice and stiff. Just how I like it. Crispy, crunchy, delicious bacon. So now with this extra
do you think
grease,
people like
I'm gonna
floppy
take it
bacon?
out of the pan. At least most of it.
Really?
The hard crunchy bacon?
Yeah, you like crunchy bacon or not?
No, I like floppy.
Kind of leave a little bit, a little hint of grease.
What do you say?
I don't really know what I'm gonna do to smash this though. I think I have
I
parchment.
like crunchy bacon
No,
with
I don't.
floppy.
Yes, I do. No, I don't. Yes, I do. Sorry, that was an emotional roller coaster. I'm thinking this will help it like not stick to the thing when I mash it down. And I'm just gonna use my flimsy spatula and mash them as much as I can. First, I'm gonna toast up these buns. Got our buns toasted. Now it's time to smash some burgers. So I think we're gonna do two at a time. Using that bacon grease. Throw some onions down on each of them. I don't like that. I don't know. That's how I see them do it in the videos. And then just mash the almighty out of it. There we go. Now we'll let those cook just about 90% of the way through on this side. So until it starts to brown kind of on the top, we want a nice crust to form on the bottom. Then we'll flip them, cheese them, do the same thing again, and then we'll have two smash burgers. All right, so these are just about ready to flip. Beautiful, beautiful. Get some cheese on there. And the only right answer for burgers, honestly, genuinely, in my opinion, is American. American cheese melts the best, American cheese tastes the best. I'll die on that hill. Don't serve me a burger with anything but American cheese on it, please. Thank you. Alright, so we're gonna wait to finish building that until we get our next burger on. But basically I'm just gonna repeat that process over again. There we go. Look at those beautiful looking. Oh my god, those look so good. Smash burgers. Top those boys off with some tomatoes. Perfect tomato in the center of each. 1, 2, 3 pickles. The pickles! Both get one piece of bacon. Crossed like an X. And then some burger sauce, which is, I poured some pickle juice from my pickles in this tub. Mayonnaise. Some ketchup. A little bit of paprika. Just a touch of cayenne for a little bit of spice. Some onion powder. And then garlic powder, and that's pretty much it. And that, my friends, right there is kind of what you're looking for. Add some of this onto that top bun. Generous amount. And seal them off. Look at that. Beautiful smash burger. That looks incredibly good. I really hope this tastes good. I've never made my own smash burger. I don't really know how it couldn't taste good. It's just a burger. Myself a little side. Alright. Oh, it's actually beautiful out here. But give you guys one last look at this supreme burger. Oh, so good. Cheers. Come on. Oh my god. That might be the only way I cook burgers from now on, not on a grill. It's just like the perfect like meat to cheese ratio. It's not too thick. You like taste everything. It's got like a nice crisp to it. Really good. I think it would be better if it was ground beef. I think bison's a little drier, a little gamier. Still absolutely delicious nonetheless. Anyways, I'm gonna finish this up. Get back in the van, show you guys how I set up my shower. All right. The van is nice and cleaned up. Dishes are done. One burger has been deleted. I'm working on my second, and the sun is just starting to set. Actually, not just starting to set. It has set, but yeah, what a way to end the night on those burgers. But anyways, I feel disgusting. So let's take a shower. So I kind of use this floor mat as my bath mat. It's a little dirty because got stuck in the mud. Usually this would pull out the cabinet, but I don't know what has happened or how it ripped out. I haven't even used this drawer in so long. But just reach in this drawer here and push it out. Alright, it took me a minute because I haven't got this open in a while, but it pulls out like this. It's not really going smoothest. Basically, drawer pulls out. I think some Windex spilled in here today. I didn't realize. I thought it had just spilled on the floor, but I guess it spilled in here. And now my shower curtain has, I guess honestly it's best case scenario, it's just Windex. But my shower curtain has absorbed all the Windex. That just happened today. But once you get the drawer pulled out, take your shower curtain that is covered in Windex. And I have these 4 hooks up on the ceiling up here. 1, if you can see it, 2, there's 3. And 4 right there. And this hooks into here, and it's kind of, I just made it out of shark bite connectors and PVC because I kind of jerry-rigged it when I built it. But these pull out like this to give me a little more room. Hooks in there. And that, my friends, would be a shower in the van. So you come in here, that drain lines up with the drain in the floor. It's kind of dirty in here, I need to clean it. And I should have been doing this before, but I can turn on my water heater. So I've got a 5-gallon water heater. That is the switch for my water heater. You just kind of saw my lights blink. And if you listen closely, you can hear like a low hum of the water heater and the inverter going because it's drawing a ton of power, so I can't have it on all the time or else my batteries would deplete every single day. So I turn it on when I need it, leave it on for 15 minutes. It takes around 15-20 minutes for it to get the water. And then I have 5 gallons of hot water shower with it. In order to actually get the water to the shower, unscrew this. Into there. And I just take this and kind of hang it over the edge, kind of like that, and that's my shower. And I have controls on the knob, so when I turn the water on, water will come out, and I can stop it in the shower just by pressing the button. But wait for the water to heat up, then we're gonna jump in there, get all nice and clean. All right, it has been about 20 minutes. Got all my stuff ready over here. Let's see if this thing still drains properly. I haven't taken a shower in this thing in I don't even know how long. Long time.
Nice.
So nice.
Just kick me?
No.
You kind of got to take like a military shower though. So you
I felt your leg on the back of my thing.
Wash, I put soap in the sink. Wash everything up and then rinse everything off. Because I only have limited hot water and I also don't want to use too much water at a time. Because then it kind of overwhelms the drain and then it starts to leak into the van, which is not ideal. It's not the perfect shower, but it works. But then my front door mat kind of doubles as my, it's so cold, as my shower mat. But give you guys some perspective from inside the shower. It's not like the most spacious. It's a lot more spacious up at the top because it extends out with this PVC piping. So I have enough room to like kind of lather myself up and shower. But then the bottom, it gets really small and constricted, but it's good enough in a pinch. I don't use it very often and I don't really plan on changing that, but I'm gonna get changed and dressed. I'll see you on the other side. And also the thing is with this shower, like I know, I'm very aware of the fact that it's not perfect. It sometimes overflows onto my floor if I put too much water in there. It stays wet, like all the water, it's not perfectly sloped so it doesn't all drain out every time, especially if I'm on like some kind of slope with the van itself. This curtain kind of stays wet for an extended period of time. I should have got a better one, but I needed one that folded down enough, and this is the only material I could find that did. And then obviously it's made of PVC piping and whatever these are. I don't know, I found them on Amazon. The reason that I'm okay with that is because it's perfect for me, because I take a shower in this thing once every 4 or 5 months, realistically, because I always have access to a Planet Fitness or something else, or I don't really feel like I need a shower. I can wait until I get to a Planet Fitness or some other gym, or I don't know, truck stop, anything. There's so many options for showers on the road, and I'm so glad that I didn't waste so much space in my van, other than a little drawer under my kitchen for a shower. So it works out perfectly for me. It's a little more work whenever I have to do it, but I'm glad that I have the option to shower inside of my van, especially when I'm at a campsite like this, or it's a little chilly outside. It's just nice to just have this option. So that's my whole shtick with the shower. But I'm gonna go outside real quick and just make sure that it's not leaking over. So I actually don't even need to go outside. I can just like kind of pull it back a little bit. And it did leak a little bit, but it doesn't look like it's too much, so I'm not too worried about that. I know that there are ways that I could have definitely engineered that better. But when I built this van, I was 23, 24 years old. I had never built anything ever in my life, and this entire thing was built on a $15,000 credit card loan. And it was a huge risk, and I don't recommend anyone do that. I was planning on starting a van company and then selling these vans, and then I started posting content online, and it kind of became this, what I'm doing now for my full-time job. But I think that's going to be it for this video. It was a pretty eventful day. It is already late. It's like 10 o'clock. I'm tired. So I think I'm going to hop into bed pretty soon, fall asleep, wake up, and I will see you guys next time.
We have two big things to discuss in today's video. Dana White will not be promoting Canelo versus Crawford after he was dropped by the promotional team by Turki Al-Sheikh. He won't be promoting that card whatsoever. He'll be back to the UFC where he belongs, doing his job, and we're going to get to that in a second. But also in today's video I want to break down that Jon Jones is done. We aren't getting Jon Jones versus Tom Aspinall. We may do, and I'm going to talk about the idea of why we may be having this completely delayed and what the problem is. But Jon Jones has been tweeting and talking and other things that Jon Jones been up to, and he's been saying some things during this which just, I don't know what he's saying. And it just, I do know what he's saying, and it's seeming like he don't want nothing to do with Tom Aspinall, and he's finally happy to retire. And he's been pretty upfront about this as well. So I don't know what the UFC is doing by keeping him as an undisputed champion. It may be time to completely move on without him. I'm going to get into some of those things after laughing at Dana White. Ha 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 ha. Ho 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 ho. Dana White is out of the promotional part of Canelo versus Crawford. He will not be promoting the fight, and as you can see by some of the top comments here, MMA Guru got these boys acting different, dude. Hey, they gotta watch what they're doing when MMA Guru's in town, I'm telling you guys, okay? I don't let things just go, unchecked anymore. Those days are long gone in the MMA world, okay? And people posting gifs of me about this. Now, I may or may not have gone on a massive rant on Demetrius Johnson's show in person about how bad it is for Dana White to be currently promoting Canelo versus Crawford whilst the UFC goes through some kind of like fan-friendly famine where we don't get any level of entertainment on any of these cards, and we got the owner or the president of promotion in Dana White just off gallivanting doing something else. I don't know if I had anything to do with this, but I'm telling you guys, we got to keep our foot on their neck, dude. They ain't doing nothing without our tell or without our say as fans, okay? That's what we got to do as fans. We got to keep the promotion in check. Slap the bleeding nose off him, yeah? Slap them up a little bit. If they start acting too big for their boots now in the UFC, we got to just you know, we got to knock him down to size a little bit, to say the least. So I had this to say about Dana White. I said, Dana White dropped from promoting Canelo versus Crawford after Turki Al-Sheikh said we've confirmed the promoter for Canelo versus Crawford will be seller for Riyadh season. The broadcaster, we have not decided yet, but the date will be Saturday the 13th of September. And, of course, this is paired with things that Dana White will not promote Canelo versus Crawford. This is MMA Uncensored. I mean, a few places have posted about this. And I just said, listen, man, Dana White dropped from promoting Canelo versus Crawford. Keep your head up, kid. Keep that bald head up, kid. I'm sure there's some stuff on the horizon for you, buddy, okay? But we start focusing on the UFC for now, eh? All right? Now, maybe this is just because it's around the time of the UFC September card in Mexico, the pay-per-view there. Maybe that's why Dana White has not been asked to promote this. I like to think that Dana White brought up some dumb ideas in the promotional brainstorming room, and Turki Al-Sheikh just sort of waved his hand and sort of signaled to his security guards to get rid of the bald fuck from the room. I'd like to think that they were in the promotional ideas room and everybody was spitballing these really original ideas, and Dana White was saying something like, hey, listen, I could take a selfie on my fucking phone and record myself announcing the fucking fights. How about that? And then everyone in the promotional office just sort of looked around at each other and went, gesturing at each other, a couple bumps under the table, you know what I mean? Nudging each other with their elbows, laughing, everybody trying to keep their laughter back. And Dana White just like, okay, any other ideas from you, Dana White? You know, we're going to have you promoting this. We need to have like some big ideas on how you would promote this. All right, so hear me out. I go on the Nelk Boys podcast, and I really just sell this thing. Hear me out, guys. And they all start laughing again, and then Dana's on thin ice, and Turki Al-Sheikh's just sort of gesturing to his bodyguard just to make sure, like, one more chance for Dana White. All right, hear me out, kid. I do something where these guys, listen, let me get Nina Drama on the call.
Oh my God.
And we need to know, what Canelo and Crawford would do if an alien invasion happened. Hear me out. And then they just get rid of Dana White from the boardroom. I reckon that's how it went down. I want to believe that that's how it went down. That's the reality I choose to believe. I choose to believe in that reality where Dana White was up there spitballing ideas that were completely out of touch and had no level of promotional skill whatsoever, and then got kicked out of the promotional room, back to his fucking bitch-ass project with the UFC, because we're the B leagues now in the combat sports world. So I said, but don't ever let me catch you sneaking off to boxing ever again. Shut down Power Slap 2 while you're at it, and do your job as UFC president for once, you goofball. So hopefully Dana White learns from this mistake. You know? Hopefully Dana White learns from this mistake. Some say that it is because of, like, you know, clashing times with UFC Guadalajara in Mexico. We know how much Dana White loves his Mexican events. He loves it so much he might give Yair Rodriguez a title shot against Volkanovski in a rematch. I'm not joking about that either, by the way. It's absolutely disgusting, the favoritism of Mexicans. If they can't fight, they can't fight. Stop forcing it. It's sad at this point. Okay? All good, though. But listen, man, from now on, you know, we don't just let Dana White do as he wants. Okay? We decide whether or not Dana White gets to do something. We decide if he wants to put 250k on the blackjack table with Steiny from Nelk. We decide if he gets to do anything along those lines. We decide if he wants to go to, you know, Mexico, to Cancun to gamble with Steve Will Do It. We decide what and where Dana White is and doing at any given time. We decide if he gets to hit his life back. We decide everything about Dana White's life. And I'm glad he now knows his place off of the promotional team of Canelo versus Crawford. At least he got that one picture of him standing in between them in case things went south. The classic Dana White move. Either way, good boy, Baldy. You're doing a good, you know, this is a good kid. You're a good kid. You know, you're a tough kid. You got a bright future ahead of you in this game, kid. Okay? Just don't go doing anything without authorizing it, without checking in with me first. Don't go doing anything like that ever again, or there will be consequences. But you know, we live and we learn, and I'll give you this one chance. Okay? Don't ever do it again. You're the UFC president. start full-time being a UFC president. How about that? Anyway, John Jones is done. He's done with the Tom Aspinall fight.
Yep.
I don't understand what is going on with this, but I do understand what's going on with this. I really do understand it. It's hot in the UK now. This beanie's coming off for good very soon. So John Jones is on holiday. I showed you a video of him on the back of that guy's motorcycle. He's off in Thailand doing some crazy stuff. He's getting paid for it. He's living his best life as a 40-year-old man with multiple children. Just what you normally do. So he's been sort of getting all these comments about when you're going to fight, you're a dark, all of this stuff. We saw him crashing out about it. And in true John Jones fashion, to prove how little he cares about it, he has to tell everyone how little he cares about it. So everyone's asking, what's Tom actually supposed to do, defend the interim again? I don't like how people talk about the idea of defending an interim title again. If this is what Jones is doing, and we'll get to it in a second, strip him of the belt. It's done. I don't think Jones is worth that much. In all honesty, Jones Aspinall would probably sell about 1 million pay-per-views. Maybe, right? Maybe it would sell 1 million pay-per-view buys. At this point in the pay-per-view model, maybe it would sell 1 million. I honestly think the damage that is being done to the heavyweight division by holding this up for John Jones is not worth it at all. He's not relevant like that. He's not a crazy fun fighter to watch. He's not interesting in any way. He's not good on the mic in the build-up. He doesn't promote fights well. He's a boring, lame bitch who's only interesting because I like bullying him. In all honesty. Like, that's really it. The only thing interesting about John Jones is how he embarrasses himself on a regular basis. Get rid of the belt around. Like, I don't know why they're holding on to that. Like, but if we could have Jones Aspinall, then we'll do anything to get just one more Jones fight. The sport could very happily move on without him. But the problem is, they've waited so long that now we're stuck having to wait for this fight because that's the reason why we've waited this long. And Jones doesn't seem interested. Let's play a few clips here.
Yeah. I'm over here sipping on coconut, talking about when you gonna fight.
John Jones over here sipping on a coconut and people are talking about when you gonna fight. Laugh, laugh, laugh. I don't know what's going on, but then he also said in this other clip as well that he's done as well.
My man, I'm excited to see you again.
But you are still active.
This guy on the phone says, John, but you are still active. And then John Jones replied,
10 years left, but you are still active.
10 years left, but you're still active, the guy says.
He said, you got 10 years left, but you're still active. Oh, yeah, no, I'm done. He's like,
I'm done. I'm done. Maybe he was saying I'm done. As in the guy saying I'm still active, I've still got time. I'm done, as in like, well, that's a joke and I'm saying I'm done to it. But Jones is just going off on this spree, and then these tweets came out as well. Been out here in Thailand, enjoying life, stuffing my face every day. And I swear I'm losing weight somehow. The quality of the food here is amazing, so delicious, so clean. Now let's really analyze that first tweet here from John Jones, okay? Been out here in Thailand, enjoying life, stuffing my face every day, and I swear I'm losing weight somehow. Now, when it's not food that you're stuffing your fucking face with, you can still lose weight despite stuffing your face. Maybe that was John Jones trying to give us a hidden message. Maybe that was a soft launch on him finally accepting who he really is. I don't really know, but that's an interesting thing to start with there, you know? Even though I'm stuffing my face every day, I swear I'm still losing weight somehow. There you go. Johnny Meat, as you all know, he's renamed himself to. Which is interesting stuff. Then someone said, enjoy your last days as champ before being stripped, I see, John. And he said, stripped? Well, do I come across as the type of person who cares about things like that? You kind of do care about the idea of stripping in general, but, you know, doesn't care about things like that. He's been stripped before for beating up women, getting drunk and going into all these problems and stuff. And, you know, he's been stripped of the belt before. I understand. But then it was this tweet here. Yes, otherwise you'd have vacated the belt a long time ago because you don't plan to fight Tom. Y'all barking up the wrong tree. I told the UFC my plans a long time ago. I have no clue why they haven't shared them with you guys yet. I actually believe John Jones here, and this was the tweet of his yesterday that got the most attention. I really do believe John Jones has told the UFC that he's not interested, or he's given a crazy number that he knows they won't meet. And they have just not relayed that information to Tom whatsoever. And I honestly believe, and this is my overall take, you know, he said, you know, someone said, what exactly are your plans to continue to monetize on this amazing brand that I've created? What kind of fucking chat GPT answer this? Lamau, shut the fuck up and fight. Lamau, this attitude right here is making me a very wealthy man. This desperation is incredibly lucrative. So thank you. Keep it coming. I mean, the way this guy tweets is interesting. When I say it like that, though, anything can have that connotation. Either way, with this tweet here, I told the UFC my plans a long time ago. I have no clue why they haven't shared them with you guys yet. I bet you he said no a while ago. And the UFC, and this is something that not a lot of people have discussed, but I've brought it up before, but now I'm almost guaranteed on it. I think at first Jones just didn't want anything to do with Aspinall. Was scared of him gonna get knocked out, I think. But he could win. I admit it's still John Jones. But I think the UFC was sort of like, okay, let's do the Jones-Stipe fight for the theatrics of it, and to get those names in the cage with each other is a big deal for them. Okay, let's do Jones this. You know, I mean, I was angry at that fact. I thought they should have done Jones Aspinall then and there, but all good. But then again, after that, I think the UFC were like, oh shit, he really doesn't want to fight Tom. We thought he kind of would, or he'd have retired and made a very clear, decisive moment of retirement. But then again, John Jones, what I think is going on here is that John Jones is asking for a crazy amount of money. That he knows they won't meet because he wants a reason other than his own unwillingness to fight Tom Aspinall to be the official reason as to why he retired. He would like to go down in UFC history where the reason for his retirement was the UFC didn't meet his requirement for the money that he wanted to fight Tom. They didn't pay him enough. The UFC never pays their guys enough. They just lost another big matchup because of it. He doesn't want it to be on him historically. But what this also shows me is that even though the UFC aren't likely to get a Jones-Aspinall fight, they keep telling Aspinall that they've got updates coming. At the end of the week, you'll hear for real what's going on. You know, tonight, we're making an announcement with Tom. We keep hearing about these moments with Tom where they're going to finally say what needs to be said. I reckon they're stringing this along because they're signing with a new contract, a new platform to promote their fights with. Their ESPN deal's coming to an end. I don't think they're going to re-sign with ESPN. So they're going to sign with this new platform and promotion for their fights. And they want this as leverage. If Jones retires and they don't have Jones versus Aspinall, we might not get Makhachev to Peoria now. They've been forced to make other fights because they need events, to have main events. And Makhachev wants to move up to 170. So their hands are tied in other places, but they want Jones versus Aspinall to be something as leverage that they use with this other platform to say, listen, you know, we've got this brewing, sign with us and sweeten the deal and we'll get Jones versus Aspinall at MSG November. So maybe there are high hopes. Maybe that's what John Jones is doing right now. Like, oh, I know they might offer me a crazy amount if they want to get this new deal, this new not sponsor, but this new platform signed to them, this new broadcasting deal that they're trying to cut. So I think that's what they're doing. At first, I think they just weren't interested in Jones Aspinall. And then second of all, I think they realized, oh, Jones doesn't really want it. This is kind of sad. Let's see if we can meet him in a negotiation phase. And then third, now that John Jones is all the way out of the idea of the fight with Tom Aspinall, it would seem, or being in any way active whatsoever, and just the UFC's now letting him humiliate the company. The only reason for letting John Jones humiliate the company in this way is to use the idea of the Jones-Aspinall fight as leverage in a new platforming, broadcasting deal that's going to be cut soon. That's the only reason I can see for this. Other than that, I don't see why they would let John Jones humiliate the division. He's not like, sorry, like, the thing is about John Jones is he's not must-see TV. You'll watch him. But, like, the divisions can move on. Like, we don't really desperately need another Jones fight. Like, if Jones-Aspinall happens and Aspinall finishes him, amazing. If Jones wins impressively, also amazing. Not for the future of the division, but amazing for the moment, I guess, that Jones would win again and there'd be this crazy moment. But in the long term of the UFC, do we need Jones around right now? We don't need this soy little, like, pansy frolicking around in Thailand as the champion of the division. Like, we just don't need that right now, man. And he's, like, corny. He's cringe. Some of his fights have been fun recently against fucking fat old men and Cyril Gane who fucking shit the bed against him. But other than that, like, were you thrilled by the Reyes fight? No. Other than the moments where Reyes was beating his ass? Not really. The Santos fight? Could do without, either or. Even the Gustafsson fight that he had was kind of mid as well. When you look back at it, like, it wasn't as crazy as war as they pounded out. So I don't think they should be letting Jon Jones humiliate the company like this. He's not. This isn't McGregor as a champ that they want to keep a hold of. Stop letting him humiliate the company. Cut him from the division. Strip him of the belt and move on with Aspinall versus Gane. It fucking sucks that that's the alternative. But we can't hold out Aspinall's career even longer, and we can't hold out the heavyweight division even longer. This shit needs to stop. It needs to stop. I can't walk 2 feet here in Thailand without taking a picture. My Russian fan base and my UK fan base has somehow exploded. 1.4k likes. I shit out better likes than this.
I paid for a cup of ice.
Like, he's just coping. Like, this is all cope from Jon. It's sad, but there you go. And he's blocked me as well, like a fucking bitch that he is. Still tweeting and tweeting, and there he goes. Rem free, boys. See you later. Goodbye, Toodle Pip. Stop this Jon Jones shit, man. We don't need him this badly. Stop letting him humiliate the UFC. Move on, you know? And there's also this other thing as well. I mean, this stuff is this stuff. Wife and 3 kids, by the way. People are making, and Tony has died on Instagram. We've got a petition out. Petition to strip Jon Jones of the undisputed UFC heavyweight belt. It's got 7,000 signatures, by the way. So, listen. Just do your thing. You know, I don't know what else we can do. But this is something, I guess. So, I'm not sure what way to go about this, but at least this is a move in the positive direction. We've now got literal petitions out there to get this man's belt away from him as soon as possible so we can move on with the UFC. What the fuck is the UFC doing? Move on already. What the fuck? Like and subscribe. See you later. Or at least give us an official announcement of November. Give us something. We need answers in this 2-week break before we come back to Blanchfield versus Barber. Or I'll lose my fucking mind. Goodbye.
Hey, Luke here with the Outdoor Boys YouTube channel, and welcome to the interior of Alaska. For the next 3 days, I'm fishing, hunting, camping, foraging, and eating what I find. I'm driving down the highway, and there's a grouse on the side of the road. All right, let's do this. Right there. Whole bunch of them right there. Didn't get anything, but it's a good omen. It is a cold, sloppy day to go camping. It's a high of 50 degrees right now. It's only supposed to get colder, but hopefully the weather will be better tomorrow.